Motivation is a powerful feeling, but it's fleeting. It can spark you into action, but it's often not enough to carry you through when the going gets tough. If you rely solely on motivation, you're setting yourself up for inconsistency. Here's the truth. You can't wait for motivation to show up to get things done. You need something stronger, something that can keep you going when motivation dips. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the ability to take action regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's not about waiting for the perfect mindset or the ideal situation. It's about committing to the process, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Discipline creates momentum, and it's this momentum that will carry you through the rough patches. You see, motivation is like a spark. It lights up the fire, but discipline is the wood that keeps it burning. Let me put this in a way that everyone can relate to. Think about a time when you've started something with passion. Maybe it was a new fitness routine or a business idea. At the beginning, motivation was easy to come by. You were fired up, excited, and eager to dive in. But then as time went on, the excitement began to fade. The days when you didn't feel like working out became more frequent. Or the business tasks you used to find thrilling started to feel like a chore. What happened? Motivation wasn't enough. What you needed was discipline, the ability to push through, even when you didn't feel like it. The beauty of discipline is that it's something you can develop, just like a muscle. At first, it might feel unnatural, and you may have to consciously force yourself to stick with it. But over time, discipline becomes a habit, and that habit becomes second nature. What's even more powerful is that discipline fuels motivation. When you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you start seeing results. And when you see results, your motivation gets a boost. It's a cycle that keeps you moving forward. Here's another angle. We often let our emotions dictate our actions. On days when you feel great, the world feels open to you and everything feels possible. But on the days when you're tired, frustrated, or overwhelmed, you might feel like giving up. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It just keeps you moving regardless of your emotional state. That's what separates those who achieve greatness from those who simply talk about it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a place for motivation. It can give you that initial spark to get started, but it's discipline that carries you to the finish line. It's the difference between someone who talks about their dreams and someone who brings them to life. You don't need motivation every day to succeed, but you need discipline every day. When you embrace discipline as your daily companion, you'll realize that success is no longer about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making every moment count. Remember, it's not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about committing to the process no matter how you feel. The days you feel down or tired, that's when discipline will carry you further than motivation ever could. And when you keep showing up, even on those tough days, you'll find that your results and progress far exceed your initial expectations. Success, after all, is built on doing the hard things consistently, not just when it's convenient. Keep moving, keep pushing, and let discipline be the driving force that propels you forward. When you set out to achieve something meaningful, it's easy to get overwhelmed. You look at the goal and it feels massive, like a mountain too high to climb. Maybe it's a career shift, a personal transformation, or a physical challenge like losing weight or running a marathon. The sheer scale of your dreams can paralyze you if you allow it. But here's the key. Big dreams are never achieved by trying to take it all on at once. The secret lies in breaking things down, focusing on small, consistent actions, and letting momentum do the rest. Success is built not on grand gestures, but on small, consistent efforts that compound over time. It's easy to look at someone who's already achieved what you aspire to and think, they've got it all together, they've made it. What you don't see is the grind, the day in, day out work that went into it. There's no overnight success. It's the sum of the small wins, the little steps taken day after day that create momentum. It's this consistent effort that separates those who succeed from those who fall short. The trick is to focus on making progress every single day. Even if that progress feels tiny, it's not about making huge leaps in one day. It's about showing up no matter how you feel and putting in the work, no matter how small the task. Every step you take toward your goal, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is another piece of the puzzle falling into place. This is the power of compound effort. The idea that small positive actions compounded over time lead to massive results. Imagine if you decided to make one small improvement each day, whether that's reading a chapter of a book, writing one page of your novel, or working out for just 15 minutes. It may not feel like much at the time, but by the end of the month, you've made substantial progress. Now, multiply that by an entire year. By simply showing up each day, you've moved significantly closer to where you want to be. But here's the catch. When we focus on the grand vision, it can be hard to stay motivated. When you're working towards something huge, it's easy to become discouraged if you can't see immediate results. But that's where focusing on small, daily actions becomes your secret weapon. The beauty of this approach is that it takes the pressure off you. You no longer need to think about how impossible the goal feels or how far away it is. You only need to ask yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my goal? This mindset shift allows you to let go of the fear and frustration of the big picture. Instead, focus on what's within your control. You'll find that the small wins, the small victories become your source of motivation. Each day you show up, you build confidence, you start to believe in the process, and more importantly, in your own ability to execute. The key to staying consistent isn't waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect motivation. It's about committing to small, actionable steps every day. It's about realizing that in order to create something extraordinary, you first need to do something small and ordinary every single day. This is the essence of growth and success, not in giant leaps, but in tiny, consistent actions that accumulate and lead to transformation. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to reach those goals that seem so far out of reach, you need to focus on the small wins. Let every small action remind you that you're making progress. When you embrace the power of consistency, you will start to see results. So ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that will move me closer to my goal? And remember, it's not about the size of the action, it's about the consistency with which you take it. Success doesn't happen in a day, but it's built day by day. Keep moving forward, no matter how small the step, because that's how you'll get to where you want to be. The hardest part of any goal is often not the work itself, but the battle against our own minds. You see, every time we take a step forward, we encounter resistance. The voice in our head tells us, you're not good enough, or this is too difficult, or maybe you should quit and try something easier. This resistance is part of the process, and in many ways it's necessary. It's there to challenge us, to push us, and to see if we are truly committed to our goals. But here's the thing, a resistance is not something we should fear. In fact, the resistance is often the greatest indicator that we are on the right path. It's an invitation to grow. If we're being honest, we all face moments of doubt and struggle. That's just part of being human. It's in those moments when we question whether we should keep going. We all know the feeling when we've been working hard, but the results aren't coming fast enough. The question arises, why bother? But here's the truth. It's not about how fast you reach your goal. It's about what you become in the process. You don't build character in the easy moments. You don't develop resilience when everything is going smoothly. It's in the struggle that you sharpen your mind, your willpower, and your determination. The difference between those who succeed and those who fall short isn't necessarily talent or intelligence. It's their ability to push through the resistance. The people who achieve greatness aren't the ones who never face challenges. They're the ones who keep going even when the going gets tough. They understand that resistance is not a sign to quit. It's a sign to push harder, to dig deeper, and to use that resistance as fuel for growth. Resistance comes in many forms. It could be physical exhaustion as you push your body to new limits. It could be emotional fatigue where the fear of failure holds you back from taking the next step. Or it could be mental resistance where negative thoughts and self-doubt cloud your vision. Whatever form it takes, resistance will always be present when you step outside of your comfort zone. The key is to view it not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity. When you face resistance, remember this. The body and mind are incredibly resilient. They were built for challenges. If you continue to push through the discomfort, you will break through. You will get stronger. You will build the kind of muscle, both mental and physical, that allows you to handle bigger challenges in the future. But none of that happens unless you confront the resistance head on. This is where the concept of mental toughness comes into play. Mental toughness isn't about never feeling afraid or never experiencing doubt. It's about feeling those things and doing what you need to do anyway. Mental toughness is developed in the moments when we feel like giving up, but we choose to keep going. It's not about avoiding the resistance. It's about learning to embrace it and use it to propel yourself forward. You must train yourself to understand that resistance isn't an enemy. It's a signal that you are growing. Every time you push through, you build the confidence to take on even greater challenges. And the beauty is that this process doesn't just help you reach your goals. It changes who you are at your core. The person you become in the process is just as important, if not more so, than the destination you're striving for. So next time you face resistance, don't run from it. Don't let it stop you. Understand that it's a part of the process and it's there to teach you something valuable. The more you embrace resistance, the stronger you will become and the closer you'll get to the person you want to be. Because in the end, the resistance is what will transform you into the best version of yourself. And that is a transformation worth fighting for. It's easy to look at successful people and assume that they've somehow figured it all out, that they've reached a point where the obstacles no longer exist. But I can promise you that success isn't the absence of obstacles. Success is the ability to navigate, overcome, and transform those obstacles into stepping stones. And the truth is, success is a daily practice. Every single day you're faced with choices, challenges, and opportunities. It's how you choose to respond to those moments that will determine your trajectory. And one of the most critical decisions you can make every day is whether to stay committed or to quit when things get tough. When life presents difficulty, when the pressure is on, we often look for a way out. It's natural. But here's the thing, the answer is rarely in avoiding the challenge. The answer is in facing it head on, day by day, and growing through it. It's easy to think that we'll get there eventually, but what separates those who succeed from those who don't is the discipline of showing up even when it feels hard. This is the power of consistency. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. What you need is the commitment to show up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. When you force yourself to be active, even in moments of doubt, you create a habit of resilience. The power isn't in the big moments, but in the small choices you make every day. When you're consistently working toward your goals, you build momentum. Momentum is like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first it's small and the effort required to push it forward seems overwhelming. But as you keep pushing, as you keep showing up day after day, that snowball begins to gather speed and size. Momentum becomes a force that can't be easily stopped. It's the same with your life. When you commit to pushing through the resistance, no matter how small the effort might feel, you create a momentum that drives you closer to your goals. But here's where the magic happens. The more you show up, the more confidence you build. Every time you take action, you reinforce your belief in yourself. You teach yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. You show yourself that the tough times don't define you, they refine you. And that's the key. Showing up day after day doesn't just build your skills, it builds your character. You're developing the kind of inner strength that will carry you through even bigger challenges in the future. And it's through that process that you'll begin to realize something profound. Your success isn't just about achieving a goal, it's about becoming the person you need to be to achieve that goal. Every small act of persistence, every day you choose to push forward is a transformation. It's you becoming the version of yourself who can handle the challenges that lie ahead. So the next time you feel like quitting, remind yourself of this. The power is in the daily effort. Don't look for shortcuts or expect instant results. Success comes from showing up every single day and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. When you make that commitment, you're not just building towards a future goal, you're shaping the person you need to be to reach it. The journey is built day by day, the results follow, but it's who you become in the process that truly matters. Stay committed, stay persistent, show up even when it feels tough. That's how you transform not just your life, but yourself. And that is the key to real lasting success. Every day you're presented with choices. Some are big, some are small, but all of them matter. The most important part about these choices is not necessarily the decision itself, but the consistency with which you make those decisions. Life is not defined by a single choice or moment. It's shaped by the accumulation of decisions that we make day in and day out. When you commit to making the right decisions, even when it's hard, you begin to shape the life you truly want to live. Now, let's talk about the importance of taking responsibility for your own actions, because it's a powerful force. A lot of times when things go wrong, we look for external factors to blame. We blame the economy, we blame the people around us, we blame our circumstances. But here's the cold hard truth. Your success, your happiness, and your future are all dependent on the decisions you make in the present moment. No one else is responsible for your life but you. When you take ownership of your decisions, you create a sense of power in your life. You stop waiting for circumstances to change or for someone to hand you the life you want. You realize that you are the architect of your own future. This mindset shift is one of the most crucial steps towards success. It shifts you from a passive observer to an active creator. But it's not just about recognizing that you have control. It's about taking consistent action toward your goals, no matter the obstacles that arise. This is where the true test comes in. Anyone can make a decision when things are easy. The real challenge, however, is to stay committed when times get tough, when the pressure is on, when the challenges seem insurmountable. That's when you need to dig deep and remind yourself why you started. Understand that the challenges you face today are not permanent. They are temporary conditions. They are the things that will refine you and make you stronger. They are the lessons that will teach you more about yourself, your resilience, and your ability to endure. If you can push through those difficult times, if you can find a way to continue moving forward, even when it seems impossible, you will have developed a strength and perseverance that will be unshakable. This is what transforms your pain into power. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going according to plan, but it's in those moments of difficulty that you have the chance to truly grow. Life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. You build the mental and emotional muscle required to face any adversity, no matter how big or small. And with that, you develop a level of self-confidence and self-trust that's unbreakable. You begin to trust in your own ability to handle whatever comes your way, and that belief in yourself becomes the fuel that drives you towards success. As you continue down this path, always remember, success isn't about avoiding struggle, it's about embracing it and moving through it with intention and purpose. When you stop seeing obstacles as threats and start seeing them as opportunities for growth, you unlock your true potential. So as you move forward today, recognize that every decision you make, every action you take shapes your future. Embrace the responsibility of your choices. Face the challenges ahead with unwavering determination. Your success lies in your hands. If you take ownership of it and keep moving forward with passion and purpose, there's no limit to what you can achieve. You are the creator of your own destiny. Keep pushing, keep growing, and never forget, your pain today is the power you need for tomorrow. There's a misconception that success is a straight line, a series of perfect steps leading from where you are to where you want to be, but the reality is far different. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of unexpected turns. It's never as simple as following a path laid out before you. Instead, success is built from a combination of your actions, your mindset, and your ability to handle the highs and the lows along the way. So while the road to success might feel overwhelming at times, understand that every moment, every challenge, and every setback is actually shaping you for what's next. We often look at successful people and think they have it easy. They just got lucky. But let me ask you, how many of you have heard the saying that success leaves clues? That's because success is no accident. It's a series of consistent decisions, habits, and mindsets that build over time. What separates those who achieve success from those who don't isn't necessarily talent or luck. It's perseverance, focus, and the ability to embrace discomfort and keep going even when things get hard. The key to making progress is pushing yourself to take action every single day, even when it feels like you're not moving forward. It's about showing up for yourself, even when the results aren't immediate. See, too many people give up just before the breakthrough comes. They stop after one setback, one challenge, and they never see the rewards that are waiting for them if they would have just continued. The truth is, the difference between success and failure is persistence. Now, I want you to think about something. When you're in the middle of a challenge or a moment of difficulty, what do you do? Do you shrink back, retreating into your comfort zone? Or do you lean into the discomfort, knowing that this is exactly where the magic happens? When you push through those uncomfortable moments, you build resilience, you expand your limits, and it's through that expansion that you grow. Every time you push through a challenge, you reinforce the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. And this is incredibly important because belief is the foundation of all progress. When you believe you can succeed, when you believe in your own ability to push through adversity, you develop a sense of internal power that propels you forward. It's this internal power that drives you to wake up every morning, do the work, and continue making progress even when the going gets tough. But there's something deeper happening here. When you persist through pain and setbacks, you're not just building resilience, you're also shaping your character. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who avoid hardship, they're the ones who endure it and use it as a tool for growth. The trials you face today are not just obstacles, they are the raw materials from which you will forge your greatest strengths. Think about it. Everything you've gone through up to this point has made you who you are today. The pain you've experienced, the obstacles you've overcome, they've all contributed to your growth. You may not have seen it at the time, but in hindsight, you can probably recognize how each challenge prepared you for the person you are becoming. It's the pain that teaches you the most valuable lessons about yourself and the world around you. So when life gets difficult, don't view it as an interruption. View it as an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Because every day you show up, even when it's hard, you're building your future self. And when you reach that point where you can look back and say, I didn't give up, I kept going, that's when you'll realize the power you've gained from the struggle. You'll see that the path you've walked was not in vain. It was necessary for your growth. Remember, pain is not the enemy. Pain is the fuel that propels you toward your dreams. When you embrace this truth, you unlock the power within you to face anything that comes your way. Your ability to persevere, to stay consistent, to push through when others would quit, that's what will take you to the next level. So keep moving, keep growing, and always remember that your pain today is the foundation of your strength tomorrow.